Hello, welcome to more thoughts on summer in the city, because apparently we haven't scraped the bottom of that barrel yet. Pascal uploaded a video and you can watch it if you want, links in the description as always, and she said that it's weird. Community events in general are weird. The community divide, the content creator content watcher divide. It's weird. It's a weird thing where no one quite feels comfortable. And it's true. It's really true. When you go to Summer in the City or VidCon, I should assume they're all pretty similar. As a viewer, it's very strange. There's a lot of wandering around, a lot of aimless doing nothing, because you've got the full day. And just in case you don't know what it's like at Sitsi in particular, there's the main stage where there are performances and such held throughout the day. There are the panels. There are 3 panels going on every hour, on the hour, for an hour, all day. Other than that, there's the 2 main rooms, and you wander around and you say hi to people and you eat food and you wander around and you wander around and you wander around. And because it was my first year, I didn't mind that so much. I kept myself occupied. I had the novelty of meeting all of these people for the first time, and that was enough to keep me busy. I was looking out for things, but next year I won't have that. I won't have the novelty of, oh, I've never met you before, let's say hi. Or, hey, let's take a photo. I won't have any of that. I will continue to do the graffiti a person's face thing. If you don't know what that's all about, then just look at these images, I guess. I did a thing with Dan. Anyway, next year I'll be doing that, which will keep me occupied. But if you don't have something like that, what do you do? If you're the parent of a child who's attending, what do you do? It's really weird, and there needs to be some sort of... I don't even know. I can't think of a solution. But it's so... I don't know, just come up with a solution yourself. If you go to Summer in the City or VidCon or literally anything, think of something to do. Because you can't occupy your time with novelty forever. Pascal also mentioned that the after Sitsi pub thing was always good. And whilst there was still this weird sub-count hierarchy elitism thing, it was lesser, or it was just... And right, so after Saturday, I just went straight back to the hotel. I was knackered. After Sunday, I checked out the pub. Me and my friend Beth went over to the pub because I saw a crowd there. I wanted to see what was going on. I was a curious little cat. And the atmosphere was non-existent. To me, sure, maybe if you're already established in a group of people, it's a great time to just go for a drink and socialise. Do all the stuff you didn't have a chance to do in Summer in the City, because in the main event, there is this weird feeling of this person has something better to do when nobody has anything better to do. I was talking to Yasmin, and there was this weird sort of... The conversation petered out, as conversations do, and then we sort of awkwardly stood there for a second and went, okay, well, I'm going to go over in this direction. And she said, yeah, I'm going to go find my friends. And that feeling continued on for every single conversation, where it's like, okay, I don't want to take up too much of your valuable time, especially when it's big YouTubers who are doing signings or whatever. You want to have Musical Bethan. I had a lovely chat with Musical Bethan, but then I turned around and I saw a massive queue and I thought, oh, okay, I'm going to walk away now in the middle of the conversation. And that sucks, man. That really sucks. Quantity over quality when it comes to socialising at that event. And maybe the pub's different. Maybe the pub's more relaxed. Maybe it's far better to do. However, when Beth and I walked over, We saw people laughing, we saw people drinking, we saw people talking to their already established friends. And especially for her, I can imagine, I don't want to talk for her, but she's not here, but she doesn't know the people to the same degree that I know them. She'd never heard of a lot of the people that I wanted to talk to throughout the day. And so whilst I suppose, as a person who's not anxious socially at all, I'm perfectly willing to walk up to a stranger and compliment their hat or discuss a common interest that I can immediately see based on, say, a t-shirt they're wearing. I'm happy to do that. But at the pub, when we walked over and saw all these people, it felt like too awkward to try and interrupt or sort of inject ourselves into that. It felt like we would be not unwanted, but you know what I'm trying to say? Just a little bit of an inconvenience. And whilst I had something to break the ice, which is, hey, I've watched your stuff, I kind of know a little bit about you, let's talk about that, Beth had nothing. So that would have been even more awkward. And while I suppose that could have been refreshing because she would have been talking to them as a person, not as a viewer of their videos, I don't know. I think the general point that I'm trying to make is that whilst community events are great and a wonderful opportunity to talk to the people you've wanted to talk to in person for a long time, they're pointless. There needs to be, whether it be general or personal, there needs to be a point to you going. And next year I may have that point. In a year's time, I may have built up more of a friendship, a rapport. I may have built up something with these people, and I may be able to confidently call them my friends. But until that point, Sitsy feels hollow. Oh, and side note, in the comment section of Pascal's video, someone described the subscriber count thing. Apparently YouTube Space assigns things to subscriber counts. Everyone knows that if you reach a certain amount of subscribers, you get your silver play button, and then your gold play button, and then your diamond play button, I think it is now. But apparently there are sort of unofficial, well, officially unofficial below the ones. There's graphite for people with below 1,000. There's opal for people with below 10,000. There's bronze, and then there's your silver, gold, whatever. I mean, sure, that's a whole other discussion on whether or not we should be grading people based on the subscriber counts, but regardless of that, the point I want to make is how arbitrary is it? Of course, society has drilled in the gold, silver, bronze thing into our minds so much that we see them as position 1, 2, and 3, but it's only when you try and establish other ones for positions 4 and 5, or maybe for position super gold 1, that you begin to think there is no sense to this. It's so arbitrary. I don't know, man. I just wanted to say that. But yeah, what are your thoughts? Do you have any thoughts? Tweet me, leave a comment, make a video. Please discuss this, because it's so weird and I'm just sat here alone at 3 a.m. with my thoughts. Weird.